Hey, wrestling fans. Brian Crazy F and True Wrestling. Back at you with TNA Against All Odds 2011 review. TNA Against All Odds was last night, February 13th, 2011. And unfortunately, during the event, I had to run out for a moment, so I wasn't able to do the review with JC like I anticipated. I did watch the end of the event. He was fortunate enough to save a copy for me. And yeah, so we'll jump right into it. TNA Against All Odds. It was not, I don't know how to put it. It wasn't a horrible show, but it wasn't a good show. I mean, it's kind of what I would have expected if I tuned in and watched an episode of Impact. It did not have a pay per view esque feel to it. Excuse me, fighting a little bit of a cold here. It did not. I don't know. It just felt like I was watching just an extremely long episode of Impact. Um, and I guess that's about it. So we find out pre pay per view that the Buck brothers, Generation Me, Max and Jeremy Buck, are not going to be able to make it to the event. They're stuck in an airport somewhere. They throw it up on their Twitter. Um, so first things first, we know that a match is pretty much screwed for the night. So we get Robbie E coming out, and he makes the referee basically count out these two guys via forfeit because they were not able to be there, and makes the referee raise his hand, this, that, or the other. Now he goes to go back walking up the ramp, and it was announced also earlier on TNA Wrestling.com that there would be an X Division Championship match at Against All Odds. So right as he was walking up the ramp, Kazarian's music hits, he comes out, and he basically, cuts on Robbie E's character, says the show is crap, and, basically says, hey, there's going to be a match, and there's going to be a match right now. And Kazarian Robbie E was a pretty decent contest. I got some notes up here on the PC that I took, and I don't know, guys. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I spent $40 here in the States to get this thing on HD, and I don't know. I just there's nothing special about this pay per view. I mean, I guess that's why I'm not a little more excited doing this review as I typically am. Usually, I'm like, "Oh, something happened," and I get all animated. Like I said, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold too, but excuse me, and so we see, we basically see a pretty good opening contest. It wasn't what we were expecting. I was hoping for a three-way, high-flying contest. I really wanted to see the Buck brothers go at one another. But, you know, they got Kazarian in. They were able to work something with that. We see him retain the title. I have a feeling if Robbie E did become number one contender against the Bucks tonight, he would have faced, or whoever became number one contender would have had a much better shot at the X Division title than keeping it. Because with this current storyline, we see Immortal with two belts, and we see Fortune with two belts. So control is kind of between the two of them, and I guess it was announced that we will see the return of Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan very soon. Unfortunately, I don't have a specific date right this second. When I do, I will get that to you. Um, so Kazarian, like I said, did pick up the win. He is still X Division champ. Then we see Scott Steiner and Beer Money. Awesome tag team. These guys work well together. Versus Rob the Freak Terry and Gunner and Murphy, which they actually have wrestling tights now. Uh, I mean, I know I'm gonna get laughed at for this one, but you're gonna keep Gunner and Murphy around? God, you could have the freaking Nasty Boys. At least they're entertaining. I mean, there's about 50 tag teams that would, be better than these two guys, and I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see why these two are getting a push compared to a lot of others. Um, we do see Beer Money and Scott Snyder pick up the win, obviously, and it just not that exciting yet again. Then we move into Samoa Joe versus Pope. And right at the beginning of the match, Pope looks like he's going to back out. He's trying to walk up the ramp. Then him and Joe get into it after, is it Okada? Okada? I think it's Okada. Comes out. He's supposed to be kind of like a copy of the Green Lantern guy. I guess I don't know where they're going with this, but okay. And basically, we see Joe, whoop Pope's ass, and It looks like Pope is going to be humble, try to shake his hand post-match. And, basically he just kind of, sucker punches Joe. And between Okada and Joe, they end up, kind of handing it to Pope. And next we see the last knockout standing match. We see Mickey James go against Madison Rayne. Um, excuse me. And, basically it's pretty cruddy yet again. Madison Rayne's got the stupid loaded glove. I mean, I'm just so like disappointed with this pay-per-view, guys. I don't even like all these filler matches. They were not to the quality or I would expect, and it's not it's not because I got this pay-per-view at my house versus getting the pay-per-view at JC's house or another friend's. I mean, it was just I felt like this was not worth $40. Like I said, I could have watched Impact and been just as satisfied. Next, we go to Matt Hardy versus Rob Van Dam, which Rob Van Dam did a fantastic job in this contest. There's been a lot of criticism about RVD that he needs to hang it up. I think RVD's in his prime, man. I think his gimmick's awesome, and we got some dumbass comment saying his gimmick is unrealistic. That's how he is in real life. The guy smokes. The guy has a good time. That's his style. He's not worried about the social political norm that everybody else in this country is trying to fit into. He is his own man. And that's, maybe why he didn't make it up north, and that's why he's been so successful in TNA in his run, since March. So, hats off to him. We see RVD hit a nice 5-star frog splash and pick up the win against Matt. Matt Hardy was undefeated. I mean, he had, 3 victories against RVD? I think 1 or 2 of them was in a tag match. Then we see Devon go against the renamed Bully Ray, which is, let me go on record, the stupidest freaking name on the planet. And basically, we see Brother Ray pick up the victory. It was, pretty hard fought battle. Devon's sons did get involved after their father told them to keep their nose out of it. So I wonder how that's going to play out. Then we see Kurt Angle go against Jeff Jarrett, and the stipulation with this match is if Jeff won, Kurt has to walk Karen down the aisle when they renew their vows on March 3rd. And if, like I said, guys, I'm fighting a cold, so I'm starting to lose my voice already. I apologize. And if Kurt wins, he gets custody of the 2 kids he fathered with Karen. This was a nice, long contest. I mean, there was a lot of in-ring action, and this was good. This was good, and it's Karen gets involved. It wasn't the way I would like to have seen it go down. But Jeff Jarrett picked up the win in a hard-fought match. I mean, he definitely, he paid his dues to win this contest. I mean, Angle beat the crap out of him, so I definitely gotta say it was a decent match. The card started to pick up a little bit at this point, but you know what? We only got 1 match left, so you hang me in at the last 45 minutes. I have a 2-hour and 45-minute pay-per-view, nonetheless. So then we move into the TNA World's Heavyweight Championship match, which we see Jeff Hardy go against Mr. Anderson. I'm going to kind of sum it up, real quick. I'm not going to really talk about the bulk of this match. I know this has been, one of my less informative reviews. I do have to apologize for that. But like I said, I'm so disappointed. I probably said that 4 or 5 times, throughout this video. But, basically Jeff Hardy picks up the win. Now, is this to try to help him in his position, his legal position? Or did they really just not have that much confidence in, excuse me, in Mr. Anderson, which is a shame because Mr. Anderson could have held this company. And these rapid title changes are starting to get a little old. And I don't know, Victory Road's coming up soon, so maybe they got something big planned for that. Post-match, he sets up his multicolored ladder. I will say there was a couple sick bumps in the match involving the ladder. There was at one point where it was kind of set up like a fly trap, and there was a real sick bump into that. But, guys, I hate to say it. This pay-per-view sucked. And I'm going to leave it at that. So, at least I told you what happened. I know it's, not play by play like I usually do, but just it did not interest me that much. And I love TNA. And I love TNA. I find TNA more enjoyable on a normal week than both of the WWE's main shows. So what's that tell you? Um, it's time for a change. So, for F and True Wrestling, guys, this has been Brian Crazy. Have a great afternoon.